Okay, so this is the best setup that I could come up with, and we're gonna go from here. Okay, I'm in school right now, so I think the library is empty, but it may not be. Hello? Thank you for clicking this video. I don't know if you clicked it because you know me. If you don't, so we're gonna pretend that you don't and go from there. My name is Alina, and I consider myself a Pakistani American who is also a certified personal trainer. That's actually legit, and I make fitness videos and posts and stuff like that for social media in order to help people who want to learn more about getting in shape, losing fat, whatever it is, and all of that stuff. So, a little bit about me. I am 23 years old, and I am currently a law school student, so I'm already done with college, and I do online personal training on the side, so I don't actually usually go with someone and train them in a gym. Instead, I will create individualized programs for people to follow with like weekly check-ins and access to me to ask me questions, and everything is basically created and tailored to whatever that person is hoping to achieve, because it is my personal belief and the belief of many professionals that when it comes to creating a sustainable program for you to get the results you want, you have to first make sure that it works for you and your lifestyle and go from there. So ideally, or not ideally, the people that I generally work with are incredibly busy and they have full-time jobs, or I've worked with people who have full-time commitments like at home or anything like that, so they have like less time to work with. What I will do is, based on the person's availability and their schedule, they can only work out 3 times a week, they can only work out 4, whatever it is. I create a plan according to that, and there are weekly check-ins, there's all of that accountability, and that's what I do. How that ties into this. So my style of training and my style of helping people revolves around, first of all, efficiency, so like getting the most done in a small amount of time, and secondly, how to make it so long term you win. That's it. Like, I want you to win long term. Whoever works with me, I want them to like continuously win and like have small victories along the way. And for that, I believe it is important for everyone to have a base of lean muscle, or just muscle. I don't know what lean muscle is. It's a term that we all use, but like just like generally muscle. And after that, you also have to figure out how your body responds to food and cardio in order to achieve the fat loss, so you can show off that muscle. And that is what I do. I think predominantly with women, the reason I enjoy working with women is because the notion that building muscle will lead to you looking bulky or you looking manly is very unfounded, in that it's not looking at the big picture. And the big picture is making your body a fat burning machine with a very high metabolism, so you can eat a lot more, burn it efficiently, burn it effectively, and essentially live a happier life. So I give myself as an example a lot, not because I enjoy bragging, but because I enjoy just drilling this idea into your brain, and that is that building muscle is actually going to help you and not hurt you. Doing hours of cardio is long-term going to hurt you, simply because you will not be able to logically fit 2 hours of cardio every day into your routine for the rest of your life. You have to figure out a way to make your body burn through the calories it eats while you're like literally doing what I'm doing now, sitting here and procrastinating on my study. And for that, muscle is what works. Muscle burns way more calories per pound than fat does. You look tighter. Yes, the scale sometimes will try and convince you that you are not making progress, but there are way more factors that come into play. And my example would be, I am 5'3". I'm between 125 to 130 pounds, depends, and I have a maintenance calorie, like my maintenance caloric, whatever, there's like tons of words for it. And to maintain this, I consume about 2,300 to 2,500, and like I stay as I am. And for me, that's a lot, like considering like the small amount of space I take up, that's a lot, and it's amazing because I just get to eat more than so many people, and I just really enjoy food. But more so, the more I eat, the more I get out of it. So I get more nutrients, like I can just fit in more options and have a more diversified diet. And I attribute that to the fact that I have covered my body in muscle based on just working out consistently. I've had times in my life where I've worked out 2 or 3 times a week, like 6, and all in all, just because I've consistently done it, I've been able to consistently build enough muscle where now I basically am always kind of working on maintaining, sometimes building a little more food. But the long story short is I do not believe that I look less feminine. I do not believe that I look any like I don't think I look masculine. I don't think I look overly like ginormous simply because I have muscle on my body. If anything, I'm definitely tighter. I look way leaner now, and that's with less cardio and more weights and eating a lot more. And so the programs I create for people are based on those principles, where I want you to be able to get more out of your time and more out of your meals and more out of everything you're doing, instead of feeling like you're constantly giving something up. If you go into any type of health journey with the mindset of, I have to give that up, really? You're gonna fail. I'm telling you now, it's not going to work. I don't know, maybe your willpower is like better, but like after 2 weeks you'll give up, or 2 months, and all your progress will just stop. And that is the breaking point for me, because I feel like it's such an avoidable, I can't speak because it's like very late at night and I've been waiting for people to leave this library. I'm so sorry. But it is about taking small steps consistently more than like giant steps and then becoming fatigued and then not being able to do anything. I promise you, I have tried it. I used to run 7 miles a day. I did lose weight from it, but then I just gained it all back because it wasn't sustainable. I was getting injuries. I was just tired all day, like my adrenal glands, which are all things that I like focus on with clients and stuff, where you have to make sure your hormones are in balance, are in check whenever you are going into any type of fitness program. Because if your hormones aren't cooperating, if your digestion isn't cooperating, you need to start from like the basics before you can like go into the, so what exercise should I do? And it's a progressive approach, and that is what I do. I've like redone everything, so like now all my new clients that I'm really excited about, that I hope you apply to be one, will get that. So that is a little bit about me. The second part of this video is a workout that I did very, very recently, and that is, I'm trying to think, I'm wearing red tights in it, that's how I remember. It was a leg workout that I did, and I'm showing this workout as an example of like what I hope my clients will get to one day. Some people are already there, some people have like a few baby steps to go through, and I'm going to do a voiceover for that so I can explain a little bit about it. But essentially, my goals right now are to maintain the muscle in my upper body. I don't feel like I need to build a lot more. I can like maintain what I have and I'm pretty set. And with my legs, I kind of build parts of them ish so that I'm like well balanced. I don't like want to look very, very like I don't want to look like this. I kind of want to look more like, I don't know what the word for it is. I basically want my waist to just like look smaller and to go in, and I'm just kind of like working with what muscles would help me achieve that. That's mostly your glutes and your abductors, kind of your quads-ish. So I built my program around that. Every client has a different goal. When I work with males, most of their goals revolve around building their upper body a little bit more. With females, it varies a lot. So it's all about what you want. Like, I'm not saying work out like me, I'm saying work out based on what you want, and that is what I'm here to help you do. So I haven't posted a YouTube video in a while, so I thought that like all of that information was necessary. But if you didn't really care about it, that's fine. We're going to go into the workout now, and hopefully you can watch more of my videos and learn more about who I am. I generally am like this. I don't brush my hair. I wear unnecessary jewelry. I film late at night, so my words don't make sense sometimes, and I have Invisalign, so I have a small lisp. So this is what you're working with. If you want more of that, like down below, so I don't know if it's on this side or that side, like that much I can't tell you right now, but on one of those, there's a thumbs up thing, so like, can you like click that? That would be great. and there's like a red box that says subscribe, so like YouTube will tell you whenever I'm here to talk to you. So I'd really appreciate if you did those two things. And you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook if those are easier, but I like all of those mediums. I use them all. So if you want to learn more, go for it. And now we're going to just go see like what a workout that I like to do that I think makes sense and kind of gets you to a really great place for the rest of the day where you're not doing too much, so you're like overly tired but you're still doing enough, or you feel like you've accomplished something. So Lego. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. I hope this audio is working out. So here I like to add some pull-ups and push-ups to a lot of my workouts now because I do upper body less, and these are like very difficult, so it's like a lot of your muscles are being worked in a little amount of time. And here I think I did 6 or 5 and my goal is 10. But if you like, see how I held it right there? If you're not at the point where you can do a full one, I would just say hold it. And these are some really, really tiring push-ups. I have neglected these for so long that this was so difficult. I used to be able to do 30 really easily, and I don't know how many I'm doing here. I think I'm doing 20 or 30. I'm not sure, but my form is like deteriorating because you can see my back kind of like moving, and you want to avoid that. So this is how you shouldn't be doing your push-ups. This was also my last set, so I was very, very tired at this point, so I'm just trying to power through. But push-ups are really great for working your triceps, your shoulders, your chest, and your back, basically your core. So I recommend them all the time, everyone. And now we're moving into the main part of my workout. So before I do any type of squat with like a heavier weight, I always do like a warm-up set. So what I'm doing here is just using the bar, and I'm pulsing at the bottom to try and stretch my muscles out a little bit more and make sure my lower back is really warm and that my glutes and my quads and everything is just working properly. Never, ever, ever just jump into something that's very difficult for you. If you are doing a more basic squat, like holding a dumbbell, then make sure you do a set without any weight first. So the trick is to make sure your body is ready. If you just rush into it without priming your muscles, you're increasing the risk for injury and just overall won't be able to lift as much. And the goal is to be able to lift as much as you can without getting hurt. So remember that. And I'm supplementing these with some more basic body weight squats just to like really make sure, because I sit a lot during the day because I'm a student, I'm at a desk at my laptop, and my legs are always very, very tight. So I like to make sure that I'm giving adequate attention to stretching and warming up and mobility, and I add the band just to make sure all the muscles in my legs are working. I highly recommend these bands, by the way. You should totally get these. The printer next to me just kind of like coughed. Sorry. And now we're going to like full working sets. So I'm going to show these squats from like 2 angles. This is one, and I'm just basically showing that some people believe that a squat is essentially an up and down motion, but I like to think of it as a forward back motion. So I'm driving my hips back and then coming up without rounding my back. If I can so I've beat parallel in these, which is amazing because I haven't been able to do that before at this weight. And the trick is to keep your core very, very tight and to focus on pressing through your heel. If you're using a dumbbell, then your form will be a little different, but the same principle applies. Push with your heel, keep your back straight. Push with your heel, keep your back straight. And here's a different angle with a lighter weight. So I'll be doing a few more reps with this one, I think. I'll do like 10 reps with this. And essentially the entire goal of me doing this movement is, how do I burn as much as I can? How do I fire up as many muscles as possible? The squat is ridiculously effective because you're just working everything at once. By holding a barbell like this or a dumbbell in front of you, you're working your upper body. By keeping your body straight, you're working your core. The entire motion also obviously includes your legs, so your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, your calves. Everything is working to make sure you do this entire movement safely, and that's how your body becomes more efficient with just overall burning. The metabolic aftermath of this is amazing. We're moving on to another exercise that I really recommend people try, and I call this a weighted hyperextension, but you should start out without any weight. The trick is to keep the pad low enough where you feel your glutes and your hamstrings, so the back muscles of your legs bringing yourself up and not your lower back. And that is so that you can basically strengthen the glutes and hamstrings, which I think are very weak parts for people because we're always sitting, we tend to use our quads more, and these are often neglected. So I love to use this exercise as a way to just kind of isolate them. And it also does work your lower back a little bit, so you're getting a lot out of it. And I supersetted that, so I did that and then this right after with one-legged hip thrusts. So hip thrusts are an exercise everyone should do whenever they can. And by that I mean like 2 to 3 times a week. And the reasoning for it is it's a brilliant movement for isolating your glutes and for basically strengthening them so that you can prevent a lot of injury. So a lot of people complain about lower back pain, or they complain about not being able to squat low enough, or they can't really feel it in the right places. This exercise will really help with that because you're essentially teaching your body how to feel what is one of the most underutilized muscles when it's one of the strongest. Your glutes are basically the biggest muscle you have, and making sure that they're strong enough to support you will help you in so many ways. Yes, aesthetically, like obviously, like with looks and stuff, but also functionally. You'll be able to run faster, lift more, lift heavier, stand up straighter. You'll just be a more effective human being, in my opinion. And I have seen a lot of progress in all of my lifts. I've noticed that my back doesn't hurt anymore when I do heavier movements. And generally my legs just look a lot more balanced now that I've took the time out to dedicate movements to just like hip thrust or the movement before. And it is really worth it. Start off without weight. Make sure you're pushing through your heel, and see my legs are at a 90-degree angle. So make sure that yours are as well. And at the end, I like to just hold, do a hold at the end just to really tire the muscle out and make sure that I really feel it, and then building that endurance. And the next exercise, a lot of gyms have versions of this. They have a seated version or this version, which is the lying version. And I like this one more because you just have a bigger range of motion. But I come up as fast as I can and then go down slowly, just because I find that to be a little bit more challenging, and I think it just really teaches your muscle how to last longer. So it's functionally very helpful for me. My hamstrings tend to kind of lag behind my quads, so basically the back of my legs aren't as built as the front, so I'm trying to even that out. Everyone has things they want to work on. That's what I'm trying to do, so this helps a lot with that. And next is another version of the hip thrust that I love because you can't use your quads to help you with this. It's literally just all your glutes and all your hamstrings bringing you up. And it looks kind of simple, like, Alina, you're not using a weight. This is very hard. So don't underestimate the difficulty of it. I clench my fists because it hurts so badly, and I make weird faces like I am now. Just make sure you're pushing with your heel and that you have a stable bench, so the bench isn't moving while you're doing this. If this is too easy for you, you can totally hold a weight in your against your chest or on your hip, whatever you want. And I like to add the band because that makes it so the outer muscles of my glutes, so the abductors technically, are also working. And again, I hold at the top like that and freak people out because they think I'm stuck or something. The last two exercises, this is a donkey kick. I wish I had a better name. It probably does, I don't know it. And I do this with the dumbbell because it's convenient, and I didn't want to set up the cables because I was really late for class. And with this exercise, keep your back straight, your core really tight so you're not swaying, and lock your arms in a position that you can maintain so that you're not basically moving in the left or the right because the weight is too much. If you are swaying, then lower the weight so that you can control it. The key part of this is stability, where I want you to be able to maintain the positioning of your entire body with just that small motion of lifting your knee up so that it meets that 90 degrees. Any other motion that your body is going through will just result in either lower back pain or some other injury, and I don't want that to happen to you. I'd start off without any weight and then move on to 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever you have. And this may hurt your knee, the one that's on the ground. So if you need a yoga mat, make sure you get that, or like a sweatshirt, whatever works for you. And this is the last exercise I did. You have to use a band for this one, or you can find an alternative exercise, but I always like to add an exercise that only targets oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. So this is another version of the hip thrust that I wanted to show you. And then after this is my isolation exercise. So with this, I am making sure that my knees are constantly driving outwards so that the side muscles are also activated. And at this point, my entire leg is fried. I have done all of the exercises to exhaustion, so this was very difficult, but I like to do it just to remind my body of the form. And I wanted to show you that my shoulders aren't on the bench as much as it's more my lower, like my mid back. So I think that's a very important part, because there are different types of hip thrusts, and that's one I recommend. And this is the last exercise, and it's just, I call them banded abductors, because abductor is the side muscle that you're working. And it looks really simple, but it hurts so bad. And I love doing it because it's so convenient. You can do it anywhere in the gym. No one can stop you. You don't need a machine. You just need to order this band or any band from Amazon, and you're basically set to go. And so yeah, that is my workout, and I hope that helped. I hope you got some ideas to try, and I'll see you next time. Bye.